Are you listening?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the End the Show with Superfast Tortoise and friends and everybody that's here. I want to say thank you for showing up. You guys are awesome. Whoa, whoa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Tortoise might have to get up and down throughout the show because birds are trying to invade the house like the old time movie. If you know what I'm talking about, the birds.
Birds.
But yeah. And also, I might have to get up because of a special delivery. Yeah. I got a delivery coming in. And if it comes in here, I'm going to open it up on the channel because it's awesome.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, that's if it comes in time, you know.
You could be like Peter Griffin. Birds, a word.
Bird.
I get that reference.
Yeah, but no, let's not. All right. Hey, Billy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's pretty good runs on arena this morning.
Pretty good runs. Good. It's good. It's good to have runs in arena and not runs in real life.
True.
All right. So, Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
Yep. Oh, so excited. And our conversation earlier got me pumped up too. I don't know if you know
good.
that. Yeah. Megan Full, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Only glad to be done with yard work. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yard work. It's that time of year where you go outside and trim the lawn and throw away stuff. Yeah. Got the waffles. How are you doing?
Doing all right. A little sore. I've been coaching my kids' softball team. Forgot all the muscles that I had. So yeah.
Now you remember. I trust me. I started working out for a while with my brother-in-law, doing some heavy weightlifting. I understand discovering new muscles through pain. Well, I want to officially welcome everybody to Superfast Tortoise, who is officially sponsored by CardsAutopia.com, where you can get sweet Magic the Gathering dice bags like this Superfast Tortoise dice bag for $45, or you can get Hillbilly's dice bag if you must, and you can get this sweet vinyl line dice bag for $75. It's $60 each, but that was a special deal. Don't have a cool picture to replace it with, but you can also get these strawberry shaped dice bags. Whoop whoop, and you can get them all customized to your dice bagging pleasures. And you can also get this cool lapel pins. You can also get this really cool Commander Zone little plastic 3D printed thing. I don't know what the official name is. It's a card holder that's 3D printed, and it looks awesome. Holds dice and counts things for you. Then you can get customized paintings. Yeah, you can get customized paintings all for your home to show off and be awesome. And check that out at CardsAutopia.com. Whoop, whoop. And here we go. Let's see who's in chat. Brandon, what's up? Welcome. Yes, it's Cat Day. Yeah, Dark Master Gaming, hello. Coach's Magic, hey. James Willis, whoop, whoop. Yes, Austin Taton, what's up? You're amazing. Twiddler. Woo woo. Ow. You know, I realized I didn't share this video on Discord anywhere. So getting all the people that came in, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It shows that you have to see what's happening for the first few seconds. So I got an interesting topic today I think we can delve into because it's something I don't think we get enough of on YouTube and socials, you know, and I'll delve in deeper. I just got some silly little monologue that I typed out. But first, take a breath. Everybody's here. We're having a good time. Hope you guys got your coffees. Hillbilly, coffee. If you don't have coffee, that we're ending the live stream.
Well, I got the water substitute, the water part of it.
All right.
That's pre-coffee, right?
Yep.
All right. So everybody, thank you for tagging along. No, I'm kidding. All right. So anyways, First of all, we got to get to the first segment of the day. The first segment of the day being Hillbilly.
Card of the day.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is a new card coming out, Modern Horizons 3. And it's got me excited a little bit because I love Nakados. Nakados were one of my first tribes I built that weren't zombies. All right. Johnny Nakado Pariah. Costs generic and white. He's a legendary creature cat warrior, 1/2. When Johnny Nakado Pariah enters the battlefield, create a 2/1 cat white cat warrior creature token. Yes. Whenever one or more other cats you control die, you may exile Johnny. And if you don't get that reference, I'll explain it to you. But if you don't get that reference, if you exile Johnny, then return him to the battlefield, transformed under his owner's control, he turns into a Johnny Nakado Avenger.
Nice.
He's a legendary planeswalker Johnny. You +2 him. You put a +1/+1 counter on each cat you control, which is solid. You get 0. You create a 2/1 cat warrior creature token. When you do, if you control a red permanent other than a Johnny Nakado Avenger, he exiles. He deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to any target. Oh, that's pretty saucy. -4. Each opponent chooses an artifact, a creature, and enchantment planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control, then sacrifices the rest. Woo!
I
You guys
hate
thinking about this
planeswalkers.
card?
I
What?
hate planeswalkers, but I hate planeswalkers, but I love board wipes. So I'm really confused right now.
Really confused.
Well, I'm opposite. I like planeswalkers.
I like them. I like planeswalkers. And I love the creature planeswalkers. So I don't know if it's by design or by accident, but whenever one or more other cats you control die, you may exile Johnny. Johnny, the Path to Exile was actually created in the storyline for a Johnny. The original art was a Johnny being exiled from his clan.
Nice.
So I don't know if that's by accident or by design. They made the exile thing. I just thought that was interesting. Oh.
I thought maybe it was a Lion King reference with, when a cat dies, then he transforms.
Yeah.
Simba watching his dad die.
Mm-hmm. His soul transforms from an innocent kid to a scared cat that has to become a man.
Well, remember he goes into exile with Timon and Pumbaa.
That's right.
Yep.
And he learns to have no worries for the rest of his days. Am I going to get demonetized here? No, I'm kidding. All right, so pictures of the day. I got 2 pictures for the day. First one, boom. Friday coffee shows a little more attitude. Woof, woof. That's right. It was strange. I was going through Hillbilly's high school photos. I found this of him.
That's funny.
Then later on, I was going through some more yearbooks and I found a picture of Captain Waffles right here. I don't know.
That pretty much sums me up.
Right?
He's like, yep, that's me.
What's more awesome than this? A raptor holding a rocket launcher, riding a freaking strike. Probably has a friggin' laser on his head. Friday coffee. Yeah.
Freaking laser beams.
That's right. Freaking laser beams. Woo! Are we talking about Lorcana? No, but I get it.
More like Borkana.
Twiddler, hey Waffles, are you in Discord?
I'm not on his Discord. I have 1,000 Discords that I'm a part of.
1,000 Discords. Whoop, whoop. So the topic of today, we're going to start rolling into this. Let me open up the private chat where I got my monologue. It says, why not old Magic the Gathering? And I'm not talking vintage here. All right. So I don't know why I started sounding like a freaking sales host here, but are you getting tired of the ever-changing nature of Magic the Gathering, or are you feeling like the crutch of Magic is Gathering has been increasing? Content creators talking smack on the company, people talking smack on the formats. Modern so much of a mess. Standard is tough these days with extended life and card pools. Commander feeling like a disheveled sock pile. The managing companies like Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro not helping with the situation, but pushing more product on you. Well, step back, relax. The price hikes on these new products may got you down, but I offer you this idea. Look for older product, like recent older product. Like, instead of feeling like you have to be in the most current format or product, jump into something a little more cozy, like a set that came out last year or within the last year. Want to buy a box of March of the Machines? Go for it. Let's open the topic to discussion for everyone about wanting to dig in, maybe buying some like older sets, maybe you missed out on, or you felt like you had you didn't have the chance to buy it when it was like the standard set. But now, which I know it's going to get harder for 3 years, but now product that's a little bit older is sometimes a little bit cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So
What do
I've
you
been harping on this forever,
Mhm.
and Wizards just needs to go back to 3 sets a year as far as standard sets go.
Yep.
And they need to have 1, maybe 2 specialty sets a year where, let's say, you know, you have your February standard release, you have your May standard release, and then you have your October standard release.
Right.
Span it out perfectly, and then maybe let's say, March or April mid area there, you have like a Commanders set that comes out, like a specialty set, and then closer to like Christmas time, you put
Right.
out like a specialty remastered set or something to give a
Right.
little bit of nostalgia, and it's Christmas time to boost some sales. And you have your 5 sets like that a year. You don't do anything else. Maybe you throw out like 5 to 6 secret layers a year and
Right.
really dial back how much product you're putting out there and give
Mhm.
people actual time to enjoy the product and play with it.
Right.
Because
Right.
standard is a mess, not because of the 3-year rotation. It's because you've got 17 sets coming out in a year and only 4 of them are playable in standard, and half the players that are new are trying to figure out, is this standard playable, is it not standard playable, why would I
Right.
be
Right.
buying this if it's not standard playable?
Mhm.
And then, like Fallout, I was like, oh, I wonder if any of this is modern playable. Nope, none of
Right.
it's modern playable. But it's like, okay, well, you made other sets from universes beyond modern playable, why aren't you making this one modern playable? And so there's so
Right.
much confusion, everything is so all over the place that everybody is frustrated. That's why you have commander players frustrated, you have standard players frustrated, you have modern players frustrated. Simplify this so that we can just get back to the way it was, and it's easier. The big thing is WotC has gotten greedy, and we fed into that greed by going, oh, that's cool, I like that set, I like that set. And then before we know it, they kept pushing the envelope, and then we finally realized, oh, what have we gotten ourselves into?
Right. Right.
So it's everything I've been saying and then more.
Oh yeah. No,
All
you're
right.
right.
That leads me to a question. Is it WotC or is it Hasbro?
Yes.
Well, it's both. Hasbro has ultimate say over WotC. WotC has something unique that other companies within Hasbro don't have. Is they have the right to choose their own product. They have to do what WotC says, but they can make their own product on the side, which is an interesting ordeal. They discussed this in a newsletter that I showed a long time ago. So they got control over some of the products they can make, but they have to do what WotC says overall. So if WotC tells them to print 5 sets, like make 5 sets, they have to make 5 sets. But if WotC wants to make their own set on the side, they can. So that's 6 sets, basically. Like they didn't need Hasbro's permission to make the I can't think of the guy's name right now. The guy who just
Sheldon.
passed away.
Sheldon.
What? Sheldon
Menery?
Minery, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, the Sheldon Minery secret layer. They didn't have to get permission to do that. Like other companies that work for that are under Hasbro have to get full permissions to do anything. Where Hasbro has the leeway to do a little extra if they want, which I find interesting.
I have a slightly different opinion than Captain Waffles, only from the standpoint of the fact that the genie's out of the bottle at this point, and I don't see Wizards or Hasbro putting anything back anytime soon or dialing it back. If they want money, they're going to print their money until they run this into the ground.
Yep.
So for me, I've disengaged with what they're doing, or at least I'm trying to. I try to,
Right.
because I get upset about all the stuff. I share all the exact same feelings that you feel, but I also look at it from the standpoint of they're not going to just pull it back. They're not listening to the player base. They're not there for us. They've made these things to make money for them and so on. So I've had to shift my opinion, which has actually helped me from the standpoint of I not buying the stuff anymore. I've quit buying pretty much after 40K came out. I stopped buying product other than occasional packs to open for content, or like Tortoise said, I'm buying older stuff to open for value or whatever, but I'm not chasing it anymore. I've stopped chasing it and I can let it go.
Yep.
I talked a little bit the other day about my hoarder mentality and keeping everything and having to have all the cards myself for me. I can let those things go now, and I'm leaning more in that direction to where, like, I don't see this getting any better. So what am I going to do with it? I'm just going to engage with the stuff that I want, and I'll wait until learn the new cards until somebody shows me in a commander game and pounds me into the ground with it, and then it's like, oh, I think I need that card too.
Right.
But
right.
other than that, I'm kind of over it. So it's kind of a catch-22 for me being a content creator too. It's like, if I got to stay on top of this stuff, like I'm trying to find and think of new original ways to engage with the content and share that with other people to make it interesting, while not really caring what the company does. I mean, that's just my choice to disengage with them.
So we just like unveiled a blanket of stuff here again. Like just open the wound. How WotC is making us feel about things at the moment. The topic at hand is more about like, there's a lot of product coming out. Like every month there's something happening, it feels like, right? But like, what about half a year ago or a year ago? What if there's product that you still want, or maybe product you like that you want to buy in again? What if you want? Why not go back to some of the older product and and engage with that product that you wish you had been part of or wanted to be a part of?
So,
Well, like for instance, if you look at like alliances, those boxes were almost 10 grand at one point. Now they're down to like 1900 bucks.
Right.
And whereas to me, somebody who likes older products and is interested, it's still a really high price point, because who's to say that that doesn't go down further? Because a lot of what WotC has done and a lot of the player base, they're starting to get scared of sealed product, even the older stuff, because people are starting to sell the like players that have been playing since like 93 to 99. There has been a higher rate of sellout than years before. And so,
Right.
yes, there's also reserve list buyouts happening. I've been watching that too. But if you look and see the amount of money flowing into sealed Magic, it is down substantially over the last 3 years compared to what it was, even back during bad sets like Fallen Empires and Saviors of Kamigawa. I mean, it's not because Wizards is producing bad product. It's because Wizards is producing too much product, and it's causing people to be gun shy to hold on to the sealed product or even carry the sealed product. I mean, even look at, like, you're talking about older sets, like let's say Kamigawa Neon Dynasty and Dom United. Nobody wants to hold that stuff because they either can't sell it, or there just isn't enough people out there that are looking for it. Even though I mean, I've seen Dom United collector boxes at like $110, and people still are like, yeah, they'll pick up a couple, but the flow through rate is not as high as it used to be.
Right. But okay, so maybe my viewpoint is not being fully substantiated here, because you guys keep talking about old product like hold or something. I'm talking about, why not go back and buy some Kamigawa Neon Dynasty for $110? Open the thing, play the set, pick out the cards you want. Buy
I've got an answer to that.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish your point, and then I'll come back to it.
All right. So buy the stuff that's old, but have fun doing it, right? Engage with the product like you want to. I mean, I know some people are just collectors, but a lot of us are people who love playing the game. A lot of us love buying into the boxes, like that, and you can find cheaper boxes. I know someone, I'm not going to name their name, but I know someone that I talk to more personally than anybody else here that's doing the same thing right now, looking into like newer, older products, not like vintage products and stuff, buying product, finding cheaper boxes of things online just so they can engage and draft, or engage and open the product, or engage and open the pre-con just for the fun of it. Like, because Watsy's pushing up a lot of stuff lately. So much product, so much insanity right there. Watsy's pushing so much that you can't even keep up with your wallet. But financially, you can go back a couple years in today's realm and pick up an old box and play with that. You don't have to engage with the new stuff to enjoy the older stuff at the moment.
So what I was going to say in reply to that portion of it is the fact that, and I think I actually came up with a question and a solution to that. So the question initially to you was going to be, what do you do when you get that older product, and then where do you play it? Because are you going to put it in your commander stuff, or are you going to do whatever? But then as you were talking just now, I thought about it, and it's like, well, that sounds to me then, doing what you're suggesting, engaging with the older stuff, getting the older product, the more recent but older, not vintage, but older stuff, sounds like a perfect excuse to make a cube. Because I was going to say, what do you do when you bust that stuff open? Well, if you're not sticking your commander decks, how are you going to play it? And who might you have in your area that you could play with? Because maybe you're into this recent stuff, but maybe newer players are just into the new stuff and so on. So it's going to have a hard time finding a place for that. But then I thought about it, and it's like, well, that sounds like a perfect opportunity to make a cube then, and to maybe make a more recent cube than a vintage cube or something.
Right. Yeah, like the combination of a cube should solely be building a set out of the cards you loved playing the most, or representing a set that you loved playing the most. Yeah, I don't know if you're paying attention to my midday streams that I've been having, where I've been updating the cube. Yeah. I've been culminating the idea of I loved Ravnica, so I'm splashing more Ravnica in the cube, and I've taken out some expensive cards from the cube to place with some Ravnica cards. This card is making fun more Ravnica, because I love that. Because honestly, Magic Gathering, for those things in there, it should be about the stuff you love about it, not the stuff that you're griping about. Because I'm getting too old where my hips are starting to feel the pressure of the weight of Magic product being dropped on me, and I cannot afford none of it, and I can't afford a hospital bill either.
On the topic of buying older sets, right? I just checked out how much a booster box for when my first set is. It's going for $80 right now. That'd be Strixhaven. Sounds like something that would be fun to pick up for me.
Coach says having a lot of people holding sealed boxes seems like something Watsy wouldn't really care about. It kind of led to the overprinting in the first place, I might offer. Well, don't have to hold boxes. All right. The reason you should not buy older products is because of the cost. If it is very expensive to buy sealed, in short, there's a complete loss of financial value if can you afford it. Well, first of all, I wouldn't tell people to buy stuff they couldn't afford, and there's a lot of older recent product that's fairly cheap, fairly in budget, that's not going by crazy numbers of crazy price numbers. All right. And I've been shown this. Like, there's some older product, more recent product, and if you want to delve into product that no one really delved into lately, like what's a set that the world didn't seem to enjoy too much, and maybe dump into that because there's something good in that set, or something.
I did.
New
I bought
Streets of Capenna.
What?
I did. I bought
New Streets of Capenna. Yeah, Aftermath and Capenna are the two sets that I would be dumping into.
Right, like New Capenna, yes, crappy set, good lands, right, and it's still playable format. It's just a weird format. Aftermath, very limited set. If there's product out there that's fairly cheap, pick it up. If that's the kind of collector thing, because I don't think they're going to really go too far into trying to reprint that set. But who knows if they, I was going to make a joke about the Pinkertons, but I think it's been played out a lot. If the Pinkertons are going to be sent out, they'll be sent out to DeBalt for his language use.
Oh, okay. I was checking out like different sets right now on TCG Player. Right now, one of the most expensive things on Dominaria United is a zombie token.
Wow.
Going for $89 for a zombie token.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's for a product?
Yeah, for a certain just a token for Dominaria United. Jeez.
Hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
And I agree, proxying and building cubes to play. Proxying, like, I'm not going to tell you not to proxy. Like, I don't like to proxy myself very much, but I do have proxies in a couple things because I can't just afford $16 all the time. Tortoise that kind of broke. All right. But yeah, proxies are okay. Cubes are a good way to sustain a collection of cards you love to play, and have fun with. Like, I felt bad I took Oko out of the cube. Oko. But don't worry, he'll see love in a commander deck that people will be mad about.
Oh,
Maybe that's
no.
when you have to-
Oh no! Oh no!
Sweet.
So in your little monologue, you were talking.
Well, hello.
Language.
So you said that content creators are talking smack. That's literally what we're doing right now about Hasbro because of what they're doing.
I'm trying to change the direction from just talking smack to like, why don't we invest in the older stuff? Why instead of being so negatively fed into the future of things and how things are going right now, right? Because it's easy to talk about product being crap, right? It's easy to talk about prices being too high, right? But why not put a different angle, a different spin on it and be like, well, why don't we think about what about some sets we didn't spend money on? Or what about some sets that we wish we went on or went in on? Or what if I wanted to experience, let's say, Neon Dynasty, the draft experience? Why not look for cheaper boxes? You can find cheaper boxes on Neon Dynasty, probably around the $100 range, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, just for the experience of it. Like I'm saying, what I'm promoting, I guess to say, is I'm promoting the play of the cards, the play of the game, but purchasing the product to play the game, not necessarily just to collect, but to play the game, to have the experiences, to build the memories. I know, first of all, I understand a play group can be hard because like my play group at home physically is tough to put together, but sometimes we do have a game. But then we have people like my friend who every other weekend has really good play group experience and gets to do that more often. And I know some of you do have friends, some of you don't. But like, if you have friends that want to draft, imagine Tybalt, Tortoise, and Captain Waffles and Hillbilly lived next to each other, like in the same city, and we wanted to draft a box in Neon Dynasty, and we all pitched in each quarter amount to throw into a box so we can enjoy that draft. One, we just saved money on the draft. Two, we created an experience to have. And three, we're getting together and enjoying the game like the gathering of the game.
I get what you're saying with all of that, but that's so. Let me get back to the point of content creators talking smack. Mainly because of the psychology of it, it drives views. Any negative press drives views. So majority of the content creators are doing this because that's the bandwagon right now to hop on, and everyone's upset with WotC. I'm not going to lie. I looked at Thunder Junction when it got announced before any cards were out, and I was like, yeah, I have no interest in this set. Cards have gotten spoiled, and I've seen some of the stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of changing my tune on it. It kind of looks good. I'm actually kind of excited to play it at pre-release. And so it's one of those things where sometimes we can get so mentally involved with all the negative where we just write shit off before we even get to see it. And then when we finally take a second and look at it and go, okay, you know what? Maybe it's not that bad. And so the older stuff, yes. If we could go back to the old golden days of Magic, that'd be great. But we're asking WotC to turn back time and go back to the good ways, which can't happen. I think it was Bob that said it, or somebody, Richie or somebody. You can't unring a bell, which I get it. But if WotC and Hasbro were to listen to the consumer base on what's going on in some of the wrong areas, like when I did the video about the bannings, okay, they should have absolutely banned Treasure Cruise and Pioneer. That card is so broken. Being able to Ancestral Recall in a format like that is ridiculous. And I literally was playing Pioneer last night, and I had a deck that I've designed to try to beat Is It Phoenix, and I got close every single time. The card that won them the game, Treasure Cruise, every single time. And so WotC, I feel like, is not looking at ways to make the formats healthy because they just want to push product out. I've been saying this for a while. The Pro Tour scene is dying. The competitive scene is dying because that's not where they make their money. They make their money promoting all the product out there. The competitive aspect makes them no money, so they don't even care about it anymore. And that's the gathering part of Magic, is playing the game. So I don't know. It's just, anyways, I'm off my soapbox.
No, you're good. You're good. First, I want to welcome Gaming Bob. What's up?
Yo.
What's up?
So many things to say, so many things to address off of the comments here. It's almost absurd. So, how do I sum this up? Number one, I don't necessarily agree that the content creators are just jumping on a bandwagon. I think a lot of content creators are catching up to where I've been since the fireside chat. I don't even care about clicks and views, to be honest with you. I just like having a soapbox and being able to vent my frustrations. Lowers my blood pressure, and I do it live. I don't like just. I'd never would appeal to just the algorithm, and I don't watch the content creators that I feel are doing it just to gain clicks and likes. It doesn't seem genuine. It seems disingenuine. I am about the health of the game. And I think that there is, something that if you guys want some content here, I'm going to give you a freebie out there of a Bob thought. And that is that I think we're seeing that there is an inherent problem built into collectible card games. And that is kind of multifold. Number one, Magic is the progenitor. It's the first. It is the OG. And they keep adding to its library. At some point, those things are not financially sustainable because you can find so many cards that do the same things that it doesn't benefit you really for any eternal formats. And don't kid yourself, the biggest format by a landslide is Commander, which is an eternal format. So once you obtain cards, you don't need to go back and buy cards for the exact card. You can get things that are similar. Additionally, any money that you spend at this point, you're not really building your collection. You're just replacing cards that have slight variations, right? The difference between, like, for example, Unexpected, Windfall, and what's the other one that's just like I mentioned it to you today, Hillbilly. Big Score, right?
Yeah,
those are two
Score.
cards virtually that are the same. One difference in a pip, but they do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Now, with
Power
any
creep.
cards that you buy that you don't currently have, if you're not buying them to go join a tournament, which, like you just said, Waffles, is kind of dying, and most people don't. I don't understand why they need to have the actual card, especially for the cost. Back in the day, you used to build your collection by going and cracking packs at Friday Night Magic or in a tournament, at a pre-release, and you would just supplement your collection. The collections at this point can't really sustain that, right? You can't really do that in standard anymore because the cost is too much. You already have duplicates of the same thing. You can't trade in any cards of value anymore, really, trading is dead. Like in-person trading is virtually dead.
Yep.
And most of the sites are shutting down their cash rebates for cards that you got that you didn't need. So that whole ecosystem has been utterly disrupted, and there's so many different reasons for it. So that's why I was saying, as Tibble pointed out, the cube is the way to experience a draft, even for what you're talking about, Tortoise, for old things. And you really should consider proxying unless you're so well off that your retirement is set, you're meeting all your bills, you can afford hospital bills. This is a luxury. So if you don't have the money for those things, even looking back to buy older product because in your mind it's relatively cheap, because don't kid yourself, you open a box of Kamigawa, you're losing money. You open a box of anything, you're losing money, period. And until you even sell it, even the cards that you wanted from it, you don't have them. You're just trying to offset your losses. So by proxying and building your cubes, that's the most financially responsible way until you are actually financially set. So that's what I was saying. I wouldn't even look back to buying. Sealed right now is a terrible prospect, either past, present, or future, unless you're well off.
Well, I'm assuming if you can afford it, it'd be a good, not an investment for monetary value, but an investment for time value spent with friends.
Again,
An investment as far as the memories that you can
use just as well.
Proxies could do just as well, but some people out there like to buy the product.
And that's what I'm talking about. Those people that say that, it's kind of like the argument with, the Starbucks Venti latte or the 25-cent coffee pod from your Keurig, right? Which you can even go cheaper by buying a bag of coffee and using the old filter straining method. So it's the same thing. You just want to spoil yourself to have a different version of the same thing.
Well, I get what you're saying, but some people like the experience of opening the pack.
And if you can afford it, great.
Right.
But most people can't, and that's where the frustration and all the venting in the public comes from, because you used to be able to, in the ecosystem they created for years and years and years.
Oh yeah.
You used to be able to offset that. You could supplement it with the trading system that we all created with each other, with the selling of cards, with the buy listing. But that's gone.
Oh yeah. The secondary market has definitely changed where you can't just do that anymore.
And so we have to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look at foils. Foils used to be a premium product. Now it's literally the foils are worth less than the non-foil now.
Yeah, sadly, that's true in a lot of cases.
Right. No, that's true, because I sometimes look for a card and the foil is the same price as the card, the non-foil version.
So I mean, like I said, it's. I understand that the price memory affects what you're saying, Tortoise, about looking back to get at what you consider a good value, but you have to look at it from a perspective of complete loss. Additionally, even if 4 of you chip in for a box, how are you divvying those cards? Are you going to rare draft or draft the thing that, even amongst friends, that gets you some of your $25 back? Not because you need it for your deck, but you want to offset your costs so you can do this again? That's going to be human nature.
Well, like, why can't it just be about the experience and not about, I just spent $100 to spend $100?
You can still have the experience with proxies.
Right, but what I'm saying, like if me and my friends went in on a box to draft, right? Just dropped in like $30 a piece. Let's just make a straight random number, $3 a piece to have a draft and just enjoy the draft. Why can't we just do that without the idea of, well, I got to make my money back? Well, yeah, I could do that, or spend 63 cents on a proxy printing off my store, $63 on a new ink cartridge every other week because I'm printing proxies off to printers, or ordering $30 worth of cards off customcard.com, custom card maker, whatever.com. I can still do that, yes, but if we want to go $30 on a box and just go ham on a box and have fun with it, that should be the whole point. It's just having fun. It's not about making the money back. It's not always about making the money back. If I spend $30 on Burger King, I'm not making my money back. I'm just eating a burger that's going to be shit out not too long after. So
I agree with you, Tortoise, but the dude who drafted that, the most famous and public example of it was the dude who drafted that foiled Tarmogoyf, not because he needed it for his deck.
I remember that
but because
story.
it was an expensive card. And
Right,
that's
but-
going to happen even with your friends. That is just human nature. Now, if you
Well-
proxy it, nobody's going to be drafting for value.
So I guess if you're worried about that, I guess you got to check your friends, right? Because it's not.
I think it's foolish to say that people won't do that, even your friends.
Look, you can still have a rule zero discussion.
Mhm.
You know, like maybe the first card you pick out of your pack is the rare, so no one's rare drafting. Who knows? However you want to do it. If you like,
Tortoise, Tortoise, let's
I
be
know-
real. If you open up a pack and there's $100 rare, and then there's an uncommon that'll make your deck better, are you taking the $100 rare? Or are you taking the uncommon?
Well, in the possession of, if I'm at a game store drafting, I'm picking the thing.
No. This is with your friends.
with my friends.
Yeah, you guys went in. You bought a
makes my
Neon
deck
Dynasty
better,
box.
Because every time we've drafted at home, there's always been a prize on the line, and I'm more about the prize than the money.
Okay, I'm just saying that in general, Waffles is absolutely correct. Now that I do have a solution for that, and I do this with my group for this very reason. I buy the box. All cards come to me. Next time we can draft your box, and I'll give all those cards back to you.
Right.
Yep.
That's the only way that I can see that working out
before,
properly.
What if you just don't care about the money value? You just want to do it for the
That's
fun.
not real. That's why, Hillbilly. That's what I keep telling you in Tortoise. That's just not real.
Well, like
That's
it's
just
just
not
your,
real.
it's just your play group in general. Like I'm saying, the people you're playing with are doing it. We've drafted several boxes. This was during the COVID area stuff, and everybody did everything correctly. Everybody didn't go money handling. Everybody drafted for the win. I mean, whoever your play group is, and the people, and then I understand human nature, and you can't back out of that. But at the same time, it's about the people who you're drafting with, and if you can't trust people to draft to have a good experience, I don't understand where you're going. You're not drafting with strangers. You know,
Honestly, the only way you're going to have a fun draft experience without having to worry about value is either your cube with everybody else or a proxied up cube that you've made that you're just having fun. And I've done this multiple times. I've had cubes and we show up and there's like 6 to 8 of us.
Yeah.
We drink beer, we draft, we have fun, we joke around. And there's no like, hey, I'm going to take this card because it's worth value. No, it's just, hey, we're trying to build the jankiest combo or the funnest deck or whatever, and it's with the cube. If you're looking to prove that point, Tortoise, just make a cube and either proxy it and just move on. No, I know you do. I'm saying for other people out there, if they want to do this whole thing of I just want to have fun and reuse the cards I have or make it like as cheap as possible. I mean, you can even go, we've done where it's like, all right, everybody put in $5, winner takes all. Like you can do it that way. You can bring product and be like, everybody bring a pack for the prize pool and we'll divvy it up that way. Like you can do things like that to add a little bit to it. But realistically, to get the most value for your bang on your buck is to have the stuff already and just enjoy it.
Well, no, I get that part, but like
if I could interject really quick, going towards your point, Tortoise, because I agree with what everybody's saying, and I see the different points. It's going to be up to the play group you're with and who's going for what. The other valid reason that I could think of, like Tortoise said, to engage with older product is if you're helping to support your local game store or whatever that has those products on that people aren't getting. If you are going to go ahead and buy those things, because value is always going to be in the eye of those who are you're either drafting with or whoever bought the product or so on. So yes, you run that risk of, somebody just drafting for rares or whatever and so on. But to Tortoise's point of engaging with the older product, I think that in some ways, depending on how your feelings are towards your local game store or whatever, or where you're getting those products, it's helping support and continue Magic the Gathering or getting them to continue to carry the stuff if they can at least still sell it to somebody. You know what I mean? I think there's a valid, it's not maybe a great idea. It's maybe not going to be, but it will help them have a better relationship towards you as a customer. And and then you're going to have hopefully a better experience with your play group. And I think that that's something else that when we talk about money, we forget the fact that while money can't buy happiness, it can buy experiences, and it's more about the experience that you have with your group. Those are the things that we talk about more than the cards that I own and stuff like that. It's the crazy plays that somebody made. It's the times that we engage with our friends that are the real things that we're taking away from this that really have the value. So whether you're spending money on it, I mean, nobody should spend money on this product or any product if they're going in debt for it. If you're putting it in your credit cards or whatever, you're doing this stuff wrong. And I'm guilty of doing that. So I mean, I know I'm speaking from experience. So
Yep.
that's what I'm saying too, that I've had to, and this overproducing of Wizards of the Coast and stuff has made me dial those things back. So I do like what what Tortoise is saying about that. If you are going to engage with that product, look for something older and have fun with it.
Like not everything has to be about collecting, and not dogging on collectors, because collecting is a whole different beast that I understand little about. So I'm not going to preach something I don't know about, right? What I do know is, like, if I bought a box of Ravnica Remastered, let's say that because it's more recent. If I bought a box of Ravnica Remastered, I'm not holding that to save for value. I'm opening that thing up and I'm going to be playing with it. I'm going to have fun with that product, right? Because to me, sometimes the true value in some of the products that you really want to engage with is playing the product. Like, I have a whole bunch of Transformers. See this dude right here? Sometimes I pick his ass up off the shelf and transform him a couple times just to have fun with it. If I didn't do that, I'd feel like there was no value in it because I didn't play with it.
Right.
And I got a whole box in the cat room over there, just stored away, and sometimes open that box just to play with them, transform and stuff, because it's fun. That's the same thing with Magic. Sometimes you just gotta play with it. I mean, look, I know Bob's more of a collector than I am, but he wouldn't, if he didn't love the game as much to the degree he did, he wouldn't have helped created Commander Raids, right? And it's not a shill for Commander Raids, but he wanted a way to interact with Magic the way he wanted, so he got some more value out of some of the cards he wasn't collecting just to collect, and in a proxy-friendly environment. So not only can you test your decks out, but have a fun way to interact without smacking your heads with your opponents all the time.
I don't collect to collect. I'll be honest with you. All my cards I got because of play or cracking, errantly for the channel, which was terrible. Those are terrible videos for views. But and I'm the one that I'm probably the biggest collector here, but I am espousing that you don't collect, that you get the proxies, that you get the cubes, that you use that kind of value, because I understand what you're all saying here is that you should be focusing on the experience. And I agree with that 100%. However, you cannot ignore the financial aspect of this hobby because it is a grossly expensive hobby.
Definitely.
And that you go cracking boxes of any nature or packs of any nature, you have to consider the finances. It's just not, it's not real. And while I applaud what James Willis said when a high dollar card is pulled in that group and they commend that person for pulling it, I'm going to tell you right now that they're still drafting that card because of the value. And it kind of throws off the whole draft mechanic that you're trying to have for what you're saying you're claiming to do for the experience. He's talking about them celebrating the financial experience in his group, not the play experience.
Right.
So you can still engage with older products in the way I'm talking about if you must buy. If that's a thing that you just can't control yourself or stop yourself from doing, I'm just suggesting that you take turns at buying the box and the person that purchased the product gets the product, right? That will stop all of that. And you can still, to James's point, when it's a box that you bought and somebody else cracks your high dollar card, they congratulate you on, hey, here's your foiled jeweled lotus, which is exactly what happened. I took a box of Commander Legends to our play group and I said, we're going to draft this, but I'm keeping all the cards at the end of the night. Y'all can draft and crack my box. And that was a wonderful experience, and nobody rare drafted. So it worked out beautifully. If you must buy the actual product and must open the packs, I highly recommend taking that approach to it so that there are no chapped asses, that nobody's bitter that, oh man, your box, we opened a $600 card, and my box is worth $30.
Right.
That, that you try to engage differently with the product. I agree. Support the store if you want to. That's your perspective, Tybalt. I think it's a healthy thing to do. But we all have to stop this. Look, this whole financial perspective is something that's new in Magic. To this degree, right? This mania that happened over the last 4 years. If you've been involved with Magic for a long time, we never had these discussions because we didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't this bad, right? And things have drastically changed in the last 5 years. Like,
oh yeah, people are more financial conscious lately.
So we keep talking about going back to the good old days. Well, that all changed, but not just from WotC. Even Mark Rosewater said there's no conspiracy. We're printing what people are asking for. And like I said earlier in the show, sure, I understand that. But it's like a kid when you say, hey, what do you want for dinner? I want chocolate pie and pudding. It's like, that might be what you want, but I shouldn't give it to you because it's not healthy for you or any of us.
Right.
And that's what WotC's doing is they're saying, fine, feed that beast until it becomes unhealthy for the entire ecosystem.
Right.
No, yeah, you touched on it. I literally was about to say about the ecosystem because we as players have destroyed that part of the ecosystem, and WotC has helped. And because of that, trading has died. The secondary value of the market has gone crazy. I remember back in the day, the most, like when you were building a standard deck, Bird of Paradise was like $3 a card, and the most expensive card you're probably gonna put in your deck might be like $15. Like it wasn't, oh my god, I need 4 Sheldreds and they're $100 a piece. Like it was much more financially sustainable to play any format. And now you're looking at like, oh, I got to build a standard deck and it's like $2,000. Yeah, screw that. I'm just gonna go draft. Oh, draft is $50. That's crazy.
Yeah, especially with the increase in product pricing. Like what the draft used to be $15 a draft or $16, went up to 18, went up and somehow just spiked up a little more in product. Varying which product, by the way. I'm just talking about the basic draft booster. Now it's a play booster that costs a little bit more. So I don't know.
Well, like pre-release, how much do you guys, if you guys go to pre-release, how much do you pay for pre-release?
I think it's about, I think when we started, it was like $25 for the pre-release and then went up to 40. So
I still pay $25 for my pre-release. My local game store, they actually run a special. If you play both days, it's $40 for both days.
Nice.
And they actually give out relevant price support because we go in on the weekends that aren't pre-release and we'll go play Commander. And to Bob's point here, we all proxy a lot of our Commander decks because we know that the cards are expensive. And if we want to have fun, like I have a proxy play set of revised duels, I have a proxy play set of fetch lands, like all the expensive lands, I have them proxied in my Commander decks. So we all just, we don't care. We tell each other like, hey, I'm going to proxy stuff. Go for it. We don't care. We're not playing super competitive. And then when we go to the store, sometimes we'll be like, hey, does everybody want to pitch in 2 packs and winner takes all the packs in this game? Sure. That's how we support our local store is we'll buy a couple packs, throw them in the mix, have some fun playing Commander. And then, we're helping the store out. The store is giving us a place to play. Their prices are reasonable prices. Like, that's what we need to get back to is balancing the ecosystem in a way to where everybody can make money and everybody can have fun. And I see everybody that make money. It's more of the local game stores so they can stay in business and provide us with a good experience of a place to play at.
Oh yeah. And I agree with the local game store aspect of supporting them and helping keep them open to have a place to play, because like I don't get to go to my local game store, but every time I go to the game store, we know we're spending some money because one, we love the game store we go to. One thing I wanted to talk about my game store is they only do one pre-release here, and that's on Sundays, and another store I can't get to does it Fridays and Saturdays. They share the weekend. So when I get to go, it was like $25. I said 40, but it could be wrong. It could be 30 now. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been to pre-release. But I don't know if they change the prices much at all, to be honest. But like I know some people are just weird. Some businesses are weird. But we lost a connection. And why I think engaging with older products could be helpful to the environment is one, when you buy older product, Watsy's no longer making money off that product anymore. They've already made their money. And if you're ignoring some of the newer product of today and engaging in the product that you wanted to before could help show like, let's push this in a different direction. Let's get that fulfillment that we want to buy something without going broke. Be wise about it. Engage with some older product, bring in some of the experiences, have fun with Magic like you classically would. I'm not saying feed the beast, and I'm not saying play responsibly, but like sometimes when you buy something, when you purchase something, it's not about getting your money back all the time. When you go out to eat, you get your money back for like a few hours and it's gone. So sometimes you just spend money for the experience. I mean, that's what theme parks are about. You don't always get your money back in theme parks. You enjoy your theme parks, and you come back and you're still X amount of money dollars broke compared.
But there still is the aspect of getting value. Okay,
Right.
So if you go to a restaurant and you spend $25 for your food and it comes out and it tastes like crap, you're not going to be like, oh well, I guess I'm just gonna give them no. You're going to either complain to them
Right.
and be like, hey, this was overcooked, or leave a bad review or something. You're not going to just sit there and take it. It's the same when you open a bad box. You're like, this is terrible. Like, I didn't get my money's worth. So in everything in life, you're going to still sit there and be like, did I get my money's worth or did I get screwed?
Well,
Right.
I'd like to speak up because I've heard you say it now twice, Tortoise, and it's called a non sequitur argument. You saying that you go eat at a restaurant or go to a theme park and don't expect your value back. That's because you cannot get money back from those. And to say that people aren't cracking Magic because of that tantalizing dopamine hit of potentially getting some financial value back, you buy a product that is generally a pure loss. So if everybody goes into it truly believing in some utopian world that they're going to get zero back from it, then you're going to have an excellent time. But I'm going to tell you right now, that's not the case, because much of Magic, and always has been since the very beginning days, is that excitement of cracking a pack and getting more than you paid for it back. That is part of the pull of these. Because I could recommend dozens of games that are just as fun as Magic that are called, like living card games, things that have no possibility of being more than what you paid for it. But don't kid yourself. You cannot compare something that is a scratch-off lottery ticket to going to a restaurant. You don't go to a restaurant and go, oh, damn, I could walk out of here and they're going to pay me $1,000 for eating this $25 steak.
I get what you're saying. But when you're engaging with product, like older product, maybe you need to change your mindset a little and be like, well, maybe I'm not buying this for the monetary value, but I'm buying this for the experience and I'm going to enjoy it.
It's built into the product.
Nobody's
doing that to go back.
To be monetary value all the time, Bob.
I understand that, but I want to explain something. Hold on. I want to explain something because this has always been the case, and up until very recently, I'm going to tell you right now, Homelands and Fallen Empires were still around. Nobody's buying them even at $50 and cracking and opening them, and it's because there wasn't anything worth shit in them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You could play them, and in their own sealed environment, they're fun, but people didn't do it because those things, they knew it was a losing lottery ticket. So they didn't buy them.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying and the lure of that. I'm not going to negate that, but I'm saying maybe if you're going to buy some older product just to have fun with, maybe you should just say it's not for the monetary value I'm getting back, but it's for the fun I want to do with it. Like if you want to plan to have a draft with say Ravnica. I only mention Ravnica because Ravnica is one of my favorite planes. And you buy the box to draft, and your whole experience is to have fun. Like you said earlier, you buy the boxes, you play the boxes, you keep the boxes, right? However you want to do it. Just do it for fun. Like if I did Ravnica that way, I'd buy the box if I could afford it, and I'd draft it, keep the product, and I'd probably go from there and perfecting a Ravnica cube with that. I get it, but I'm just saying, like I'm not like one of the like before monetary value hit me as a pack opener, right? From a beginning standpoint, the one thing I loved about trading card games when I got into them is you spent, well, I know back in the day, $3 on a pack, you got cards back and product, not the monetary value, but you had a physical item, and that dopamine hit me harder than going to a casino because I hate throwing money in a machine and hoping to get some money back, or going to a table with some skill I don't have, So I always thought that aspect was cool before I actually opened like a $30 card one day, and but like sometimes we get so wrapped up in one mind frame of monetary value, which my whole session of today was to kind of step away from the monetary mindset all the time. And I'm not saying get rid of it, because you are right, Bob. You are 100% right when there's monetary value in the game, and that's a dopamine hit. But sometimes it's okay to take a step back, spend $110 or so on a box, and just draft it with your friends. Just do it for the fun.
I've never said anything otherwise, and that's exactly why I have over 100 boxes in my basement.
Right.
But most people can't really afford that, right?
No.
And there's this fallacy that they put in their head that, well, maybe, right? It's that, well, maybe, that is the gotcha, and so dangerous in this hobby, whether it's new boxes or old boxes, right? That they're spending money that they wouldn't otherwise if they just knew that they're walking away with zero at the end of the night. And whether you pay attention to the financial value or care about the financial value or not, it costs. It costs you regardless. It costs you to buy in. And the very first question you should be asking yourself is, can I afford to set this money on fire?
That's the same psychology of a gambler in addiction with that. I mean,
exactly.
I like to go to the casino, but I won't go unless I have extra money that I'm like, if I lose this, I'm fine.
Right.
So you should have the same mentality with Magic. It's like, I would say that you're probably at like 80% of the time you're going to lose money on a box. It might even be higher now because like back in the day, you could open up a box and more than likely hit your expected value of what the box costs you. Now you open up a box, like let's say you open up like Murders before the prices got out of hand, and you spend $169 for a play booster and you get like $90 worth of value, you're losing a lot of the times. So the box says it itself. It's a draft box. It's a play box. You should buy it to play with it and not expect huge value out of it. But that's not what we've been bred into over the years with this mentality of the secondary market and all this other stuff.
It's part of the build-in to the game. It's how the product's designed. It is how it's been marketed. It's what the mass community understands. But unfortunately, just like when you mess with any formula, they've kind of broken the formula and the ecosystem. So now it's our job to really, truly change the way we interact with it. And that's sort of the point of today, is trying to find a way that you can still enjoyably interact with it. And my message is, do it responsibly. That should be the very first thing. Forget about the experience. Forget about the money making. As an adult, look at it from a responsibility standpoint and truly be honest with yourself. Is this something, as an adult, that I really, truly can afford to be doing?
Right. You're right. The wife heard you. She's up getting some coffee, and she's like, the answer is usually no, but you should be what Bob does.
And I'm not trying to poop on anybody's parade here. That's not my intent.
Right.
But what
you're
is
not picking on people's parade.
Hey, let's set aside reality for a moment and do this thing instead. Hey, let's look for the value. I love what Coach said when he said, and he's kind of fussing at me here today in the comments. Still love you, Coach. But he said we shouldn't have to make it fun. We shouldn't have to make it a great product to interact with. We shouldn't have to look at it 5 different ways from Sunday to try to enjoy the product. It should just be enjoyable.
Right. Well, no. Yeah. You're right. It should be enjoyable. There's a lot of product that makes us forget how enjoyable Magic used to be, or is, or could be.
And it still is. It can be.
You're right.
If you look at it the right way.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but like I'm just saying, instead of instead of holding your breath
I'm
for
sorry,
like
Coach.
instead of holding your breath, instead of holding your breath for like the next new product or whatever, or caring about the financial value of the new product, and with the increase in price, I understand, but sometimes you need to relax, take a step back. If you want to engage with the product, try going back a little further. Sometimes you can find a little bit older sets, like about a couple of years back, for a cheaper price that you can engage with. If you need to, clear your mind of making your money back because you're still getting physical product back. Enjoy that product with what you have. Like I rather like, and I know what I'm about to say is like 80% true because like I believe at 80%, 90% it's like, well, I don't like digital as much, but like I feel less of a painful loss if I lose some value in a physical product than losing value in a digital product. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that because the digital product, there's no real value there, so you're not gonna you just want hope to get your gold cards or whatever.
Yeah,
Anyways,
they could pull the plug at any point with that. I mean, they won't, but for Arena and stuff, I have very seldom bought anything on Arena just because of that same feeling and stuff that like it's a digital thing. It's the ones and zeros, and the only value attached to that is what they're going to put on there.
Yeah.
So
The
I
only,
refuse to spend money on that.
right?
the only digital card game that I knew had trading got shut down. You could actually trade packs for different cards you needed, but that card game got shut down for the newer client, which you can't do that.
Right. I
And
get you.
that made a lot of people mad too.
All
That
right,
used to be
it will happen. NFCs are a tricky thing, so I don't understand. Something I fully don't understand, but you know, I think it's amazing, and I want to relax a little bit. I think everybody here has something important and something pertinent to say that was good. And I hope I used that word right. Pertinent. It's not a word I usually use. Um, but like I wanna calm down, relax, and I want to thank everybody for showing up and everything, and Bob jumping in
Calmer
with
than
his
you are.
what?
I was doing a Big Lebowski reference. Calmer than you are.
Yeah, that's right. So we're gonna start getting to the shill section. Boom.
Alrighty, everybody. I'm at 381 subs. Getting closer and closer to that 400. When we get to that 400, there'll be a giveaway. And will not be another stream this afternoon, but it will be 2 streams tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, so it will be 9 a.m. Central Standard Time arena gameplay. Then at 2 o'clock, it'll be Commander. And once we get to that 400 subs, that'll kick off a giveaway. And that's all I got for today.
All right. Anything moving full?
No, nothing today.
All right. Captain Waffles.
420 pool game. Be on the lookout for the details for that. Yeah, other content coming out as we go. And then when we get to 250 subs, got Sheldreds being given away. If you want it.
Woo! And
Hey,
hey,
stretching for that 500 subscriber mark on YouTube. And speaking of older product, here's something that's going to get cracked. And I'll be giving away some of the packs, sealed packs, or maybe I'll crack them on the scene. I don't know. I'm still figuring out what's going on. We're working it out. But once we get to 500, we're going to crack that. And I will be doing some form of giveaway with that also, some of those cards. So that's it.
Hell yeah. That's it. Boom. Tortoise. I get a show. Today's Friday. I don't know if I'll do a stream throughout the day today. I don't know if there'll be a midday stream. But tonight at 8 p.m., I'm going to be playing some Spider-Man. Like this, that, whatever. We're going to have fun tonight. I hope you enjoy the show. Hope you can come on. Bob had a boot scoot and boogie before we got done with the shill segment. So I want to thank Bob for showing up. He's been awesome. He thanked me for the invite, told me he rocked it. Captain Waffles, I want to thank you for being here. You made the show awesome too. You had a lot of good points.
I slept through half of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Beautiful. Thank you for showing up. All right, Gibraltar Princess, thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
And Hillbilly, you rock.
No, you rock.
You rock.
No, you rock.
You rock.
No, you do.
Shockwave! What is your command, Megatron?
Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content for evil fun.
Fear not, Megatron. Cybertron